family, thank you so much for joining me. This is day 8 in the series I'm doing called It Is Well, and today we are looking at what praise looks like in the good times. We talked last time about how we should rejoice and give thanks in the good times, but today I want to talk about what that looks like. So we're going to look at some different examples from the Bible and some different verses that kind of guide us to what praise in the good times might look like. Now, the first thing I want to look at is what we are saying when we're praising God in the good times. And Psalm 136 gives us a great example of this. Verses 3 through 6 say, "Give thanks to the Lord of Lords, for his steadfast love endures forever. To him who alone does great wonders, for his steadfast love endures forever. To him who by understanding made the heavens, for his steadfast love endures forever. To him who spread out the earth above the waters, for his steadfast love endures forever." And this chapter keeps going on and on and on about all of the amazing things God has done. So when we are praising God, that is what praise is. We are looking at who he is, the amazing parts of his character and what he has done for us. So you might talk about the mercy he has for you or the blessings he has placed in your life right now. We're just looking at what God has done and is doing. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is how God doesn't care about the format. He cares about the heart. And so in multiple different examples, we see different formats. In Exodus 15:1, right after the Israelites were saved from the Egyptians by crossing the Red Sea, we see, "Then Moses and the people of Israel sang this song to the Lord, saying, 'I will sing to the Lord, for he has triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider he has thrown into the sea.'" So here we see singing. They praise God through singing. And in 2 Samuel 6:14 through 15, when David is bringing the ark of the Lord into Jerusalem, we see that he dances and he shouts and he plays music. He's just overwhelming with this joy that he is dancing and shouting praise to the Lord. In 2 Samuel 6 verses 14 through 15, we see, "And David danced before the Lord with all his might. And David was wearing a linen ephod. So David and all the house of Israel brought up the ark of the Lord with shouting and with the sound of the horn." So we see all of these different formats, that it might be this exultant shouting, this singing, this dancing. And in Matthew chapter 6, verses 5 through 6, we see that Jesus tells the people, "And when you pray, you must not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogue and at the street corners, that they may be seen by others. Truly, I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you pray, go into your room and shut the door and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you." So we see that there is not a right format to praise God in, but that he does care about what is in our heart. So if we are praising God to make ourselves look good, that's not what God is looking for. That's not how we should be praising him. But if we are praising him to show off what God has done, then it doesn't matter how you do it. You can be doing it in private or in front of a crowd of people. You can be doing it in a quiet prayer or as a loud shout or a song. What God cares about when you're praising him or when you're praying to him, when you're talking to him, is that you are focused on talking to him, not on making yourself look good. So the first thing we see is that we're talking about what God has done, the amazing things he's done. And the second thing we see is that while there's no right format, we need to make sure our heart is in the right place. And Jesus tells us that making it a private matter, doing it alone, can help our heart to be in the right place, but not necessarily that we have to do it alone. The last thing we see is that this praise is unashamed. Whenever David is bringing the ark into Jerusalem, his wife Michal sees him dancing and praising God. And whenever he returns home, she looks at him and says, "Wow, you embarrassed yourself." And this is David's response. from 2 Samuel 6, verses 21 to 22. And David said to Michal, "It was before the Lord who chose me above your father and above all his house to appoint me as prince over Israel, the people of the Lord. And I will make merry before the Lord. I will make myself yet more contemptible than this, and I will be abased in your eyes, but by the female servants of whom you have spoken, by them I shall be held in honor." David is saying, I wasn't doing this for the people. I was doing this for God. His heart was in the right place. And so he said, I am not ashamed because this was between me and God. Even though I was in front of all these people, it's between me and God. And so we see these three things, that we are talking about what God has done for us, that there's no right format, but our heart needs to be in the right place, and that we are not ashamed to declare what God has done for us, because it is a great thing. And this is not, again, this is about the heart. It is not between you and other people. So there's no need to be ashamed of what other people think of you, because this is between you and your God. Now I put up here on the screen the examples we've talked about. If you want to go read them more fully, read the full chapter. And if you're memorizing 2 Corinthians 9:15, this is your reminder to do that. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.